Broadcasting live from Secret Tunnel on the plane of the world of Avatar. This is TapTapConcede. Welcome, everybody, to TapTapConcede. My name is Graham. Joining me this week is Nelson.
Woohoo!
And Cameron.
Huh?
And we are recording this on Halloween, which is why I guess Nelson's the only one.
Ones of us did something about it.
Yeah.
I'm dressed as someone who's fully functional.
Don't believe you.
I tried really hard, man. I mean, really, honestly, tried to get that one out.
Yeah, you're dressed that way. It's true. Yeah, you got your shirt on your top half and everything.
Yeah. I know I've been fooling people by having this neurotypical fixation going on.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk to you today about some of the cards that have been spoiled thus far in the Avatar spoiler season. But first, I want to remind you all that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. The /LRR is the important part to us. The important part to you is getting good deals on Magic cards. You can pre-order Avatar already. Yeah. Also, if you want to buy Dragon Shields to protect those cards you buy from Card Kingdom, you can use the code LRRMTG5 to get yourself a 5% discount off anything you buy on the Dragon Shield store. And, most importantly, everything we do here at Loading Ready Run is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. Unless you're listening audio only, in which case, go to the YouTube channel and then become a member, I guess. Whatever. Thank you all for being here and for listening. One more thing to remind you about is that at the time of this airing, this Friday, this week, is the Avatar: The Last Airbender pre-release with special guest Chris Mooney, who was the lead designer on the set. And they are so excited to come back for this. We didn't even have it locked in that we were necessarily getting to do a PPR for the set. We are, and we're thrilled about that. But before we knew that, Chris was like, "Can I please come back up to do this?" And luckily, we were able to make that all work. So very excited to have Chris back here to talk about working on Avatar, because it's been a labor of love for them, as I understand it. Which is great also because I do not know as much about this product, this property, as other things recently. So today we're going to be looking at the cards mostly in terms of like mechanical Magic the Gathering stuff, more so than any of how well it's representing the show. Because, I mean, I don't. Yeah. How's your familiarity?
I watched the show over 10 years ago because I was dating someone who was really into it. And then Korra also happened to me, and they were fine. Like it's a good show.
Yeah.
I assume your kids, should they be into vintage television at some point in their life, might enjoy it quite a lot.
Probably.
Yeah. I've tried to push it on my kids a little bit. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen a bunch of it from when it kind of came out, 2007 or something. I had like a regular Saturday morning friends meet up, and Avatar was our favorite show. We would sometimes watch a couple other cartoons, and we would always have pancakes and play Catan.
Nice.
But we liked Avatar. We found Avatar, and we were like, oh, let's watch this. And one of us had TV, so we went over to their place for cable when it came out on Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
and we kept that up for a year and a half.
That sounds super. That sounds really nice.
Yeah, it was cute. It was very cute.
That rules, actually. Yeah, I watched, I think, the first half season, kind of being like, This? You want me to watch? And I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. I stuck with it. And then it got good and interesting.
Yeah, sweet.
Which surprised and delighted me.
Nice. Well, we have some good and interesting Magic cards that have thus far been spoiled, starting with some of our preview cards. They gave us 3, which is kind of amazing. But we're going to talk about 2 of them, because one of them seems like a very good draft uncommon. We're going to talk about the more interesting ones. So let's start with Diligent Zookeeper, because I have some questions. So 3 and a green for a 4/4 human citizen ally that reads, each non-human creature you control gets +1/+1 for each of its creature types to a maximum of 10. So we've never seen that kind of limitation before, at least not printed like that. And initially, we were like, why is that? Oh, right, for changelings, because those are every creature type, and so you want to not have it be just arbitrarily large. Except, we skipped over the fact that it says non-human.
Yeah.
And changelings are also human. So this doesn't actually interact with changelings at all. So why that limitation? 10 creature types is a preposterous number.
This might just be like an accessibility thing, where if you were sitting at a commander pod, and that's in a board stall, and you can just say, like, I think this is 10. Can everyone else? Does anyone else want to vouch for it? And then the rest of the pod will just go, "Yeah, we don't care, man."
Like, do you think that this is do you think this is because of a specific yet unknown potential problem, or do you think that this is just like, let's put a cap on this in case we mess something up later?
That could be it, right? Like maybe they are now trying to make things less abusable in like by putting an upper boundary on things.
Yeah, it does seem to hint. The thing is, 10 is still so much.
Yeah.
Right? Like, say you have, if they print a card that's like dragon fodder, except instead of goblins, it's like a sorcery for 1 and a red that makes 2/1/1 frog, bird, squirrel, owl, pigeon. Like it's got like 20 creature types on it or something. Like they make these non-human changeling creatures essentially, right? That would fit with this ability. That's still so much extra power and toughness for a 4-mana 4/4, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't get it either, because it feels like if it's gonna fit next to, like, if Diligent Zookeeper is like poised to be some like standard powerhouse because it's a 1/2 with something that has lots of creature types but isn't a human, then like giving it +10/+10 still seems too good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, why was this the threshold? Like, if it said to a maximum of 4,
Yeah.
I could see it being like, okay, maybe the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are going to be teenaged as a creature type and mutants and ninjas and turtles, and then they don't want it to get any more wild after that.
Well, because on a printed card, it is rare to have 4, but 4 is like the maximum I've ever seen.
Yeah,
because like we're dealing with a physical limit on the type line here.
Yeah, so you have to contrive some way to grant non-human creatures so many more subtypes, and I just don't think that you're going to encounter that many.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So I don't know. It looks like that. Like when they say to a maximum of 10, and you're like, I don't even know how this would do more than +3/+3 on any card I can find. Maybe you can find a +4/+4 somewhere. It's like, okay, so then why bother with this maximum of 10? We have changelings, but this doesn't affect them.
Right.
And then you're like, what does this do?
The only other time I've seen this kind of like templating around like multiple creature types that are non-human was on Ikoria.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe this signposts something about Ikoria.
Maybe. Or maybe there's like, you mentioned Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like the ooze can like add, it's like pick 3 other types. Right. Like I know that we have a bunch of equipment in standard right now from Final Fantasy that is all like, is also a knight, is also a wizard, is also a cleric, right?
That's
so
true.
we've got a bunch of equipment that can add types, but still, getting to 10 just seems like it's going to take you all day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I would rather hoof someone. Right?
So we're all super curious. Like it seems to be a hint that at some point, if the maximum of 10 wasn't on there, it would like be broken. The other thing that's possible is that there's a top-down reason for maximum of 10.
Yeah, is there something about the zoo in Ba Sing Se?
Exactly. Like
only having 10?
Yeah, is there something like, does this person only allowed to have 10 animals, or are they only allowed to have 10 visitors at once? Something like that. There's
all I know is that this guy only shows up
cool
in
joke.
Yeah, this guy only shows up in one episode, and I only know that because of our preview card video, and I had to look it up.
Right. Okay.
So maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me since I've watched.
Let us know your thoughts.
Just really quickly, you guys mentioned the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
There are 4.
Okay, they are mutant Ninja Turtle samurais, or that one is cool. But like, that card existing still doesn't make Diligent Zookeeper make sense, because it doesn't stop the Zookeeper from pumping this for 4.
So Leonardo with
Right.
+4/+4 and having double strike and then getting +4/+4 is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Also, Leonardo looks pretty cool here.
Yeah.
like I think the Zookeeper is a pretty cool card.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know,
Even in like limited, there are a bunch of cards in the set because the animals in Avatar are all like
2 things.
they're all that's just the way that it works in the world. That all the animals are 2 things, and so any of the creature cards are like like Badger Mole, I think, is
Right.
one of the ones that's been
Turtle
spoiled
ducks.
and is Badger and a mole. And so
Yeah.
a lot of
Bison
them will
Swan
just
or whatever.
randomly get +2/+2 or +3/+3, which is cool.
yeah.
Our
But yeah, strong card.
yeah, our third preview card, very cool. Boomy, Unleashed. So 3 red-green for a 5/4 human noble ally with trample, which is already like totally fine. When Boomy enters Earthbend 4. Now, Boomy's a mythic, so the reminder text isn't here. And I want to make sure I'm getting it correct. Do you recall, Nelson? Because you've done the judge video already.
I think you choose target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 creature, and then you put N+1/+1 counters on it equal to the Earthbend number, and then that land gains haste.
also what I think.
And when it dies or is exiled, maybe it's just when it leaves the battlefield. I think maybe if you bounce it, this does. Yeah, I think if it dies or is exiled, you return it to the battlefield tapped. And
Okay.
then it's like not a creature. So yeah, Earthbend animates one of your lands for like however big the number is. I think you can target a land that's already a creature as well. So
so you can like earthbend your Celestial Colonnade.
if you want,
right?
yeah. Well, the thing is, it makes it a 0/0. So that one's a little
right.
weird. But like
But you can Earthbend when you've already Earthbent.
exactly,
Gotcha.
or you can Earthbend a land you've awakened. Or something
Okay.
like that, right? Or maybe with your Muta Vault, that's fine. Like if that's the one you want to have attacking anyway, but it'll stay a creature like permanently, and then until it dies or is exiled, and then if it does die, it'll come back tapped.
Okay.
I'm trying to find one that has the reminder text, and I can't. But anyway, I believe you're correct.
I think that's right. Makes it a creature, gives it haste, puts +1/+1
Yeah.
counters on it, brings it back. Yeah.
Then Boomy continues. Whenever Boomy deals combat damage to a player, untap all the lands you control, and then after this phase, there's an additional combat phase, but only land creatures may attack during that combat phase. So,
Pretty strong.
Yeah, you don't want this guy to connect with
Right.
trample. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean 5 mana, but you get like 9 power. So that's not terrible.
Yeah,
And then obviously the connecting is nice. I feel like there's gonna be a bunch of fun places you can go in Commander with this thing if you want to.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, put on your boots, Boomy. Get in there. End the game.
yeah, for sure. Maybe it's not that complicated actually, but it means you get to play a bunch of other fun cards like, is it Sylvan Advocate or whatever? There's a creature that's a rare from Oath of the Gatewatch that was fairly popular for a little while. That's like 1 and a green for a 2/3 vigilance, but your land creatures get +2/+2.
Right,
Or if you
right.
have to have 6 lands in play and then they get +2/+2 or something like that. Or it gets +2/+2, but it also pumps your lands. Anyways, there's a bunch of weird cards from
Yeah,
the history of
there was
Magic
a
that care about land
landlord.
creatures. Yeah.
Oh, here we
A
go.
landlord. Yeah.
I found. Speaking of landlord, actually, I found another card that's been spoiled that we can talk about that does have the reminder text
Okay.
for Earthbend, which is the Badger Mole Cub. 1 and a green for a 2/2. You know I love to see it. When this enters Earthbend 1, and as you say, target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste that's still a land. Put N counters on it, in this case 1. When it dies or is exiled, you return it to the battlefield tapped. This also says whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. So any of your lands that you've now turned into creatures, or just any of your Llanowar Elves or whatever.
Yeah, it does. Actually, here's a question for the audience. You remember a couple of weeks ago when we were doing EDH ranked?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There was that one group, mono green commander.
Oh, yes.
When anything dies, they come back as a land.
Yeah, and people were like, here's why that's a problem. And they linked us to
and
the
it's
list.
like this. Yeah, you play kind of like an aristocrat strategy. I wonder if Earthbend.
Eudora?
Yeah, Eudora. I think.
Right.
Yeah, it was Eudora versus Ishtola, but yeah. Does
Earthbending go
get
into the
Eudora?
Aristotrees?
Yeah,
So
because it returns it to the battlefield,
yeah,
and if you're already playing aristocrats,
I guess they're both probably templated as triggered abilities. So You just have to pick one or the other because you can't it's like a new object once it's in play. It doesn't remember that there's another trigger on the stack that wants to bring it back from the graveyard again. So unfortunately, even if you have a free sack outlet, you can't get both of your Earthbend plus Eudora triggers on the stack when the land dies, then bring it back, sacrifice it, then get the other one to bring it back as well. Sorry. I know.
If your rules let you hear, what use were the rules?
I feel like Badger Mole Cub probably still gets in that deck, though, just because it adds extra mana and
Yeah, it seems like what that deck wants.
gets your creature land started more quickly. Yeah.
Badger Mole Cub, I think, is a pretty happening little thing. To me, it looks really strong. Probably this sets Lotus Cobra in the way that it's like, hey, Mythic rares aren't going to be 4-ofs in decks, we promise. Wizards of the Coast, Shards of Alara. Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, this feels great after you play this turn 2, tap your Land of War Elf, play another one of these.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now both your lands are tapped creatures. Yeah. Land of War Elves is in standard right now too, right? I'm pretty sure from Foundations. So
Yeah,
It's
then
either Land
have
of Elves
fun.
or Elvish Mystic. I can't
and then
remember which
turn
one's
3
in
slam in a
Foundations.
Roboroid,
yeah,
and just oh man.
and then another Roboroid. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've got so
Yeah,
much.
you've got
if you
so
do-
much mana,
Say you
and
have
you've
2
got-
of these.
Yeah, you've got 6 creatures.
Sorry, yeah.
No, I'm playing this deck. I got to get out of here. I have to go and buy these right now. I'm playing this deck. I'm coming for you.
If you have 2 of these in play, your Land of War Elves and your 2 forests all tap for 3. So that's 9 mana. You can actually just play Hoof on turn
Roboroid.
3.
Yeah.
You don't even need to play a Roboroid. Roboroid's great, but you can play 2 Roboroids, which is better.
Yeah, you know what's better than having one Roboroid?
We did it, kids. We solved. We broke
a
Magic the Gathering.
Roboroid.
Yeah,
we figured out a deck that a Roboroid is good in. You're welcome.
You're so welcome.
I've got a Roboroids, man.
At my age,
Yeah, it's inevitable. You wind up with a Roboroids.
Do you?
That's why you want
Are they for
preparation
trade?
O.
Keep that stuff stocked
does
next to
the
the
O
sleeves.
does the O stand for a Roboroid?
No.
No.
Stands for Oblivion Ring.
Yeah. You got to protect your ring
Got to protect your ring.
from
man.
a Roboroid.
Anyway, this is brought to you by Paramount Studios.
I want to talk actually, so related to all of the earthbending, also, because I mentioned it at the top of the show, Secret Tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to talk about that card. That card's sweet.
Yeah, how you did OSINT on
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, because I posted about this on Blue Sky. So, this is way back when we were working on Murders at Karlov Manor. There was a land card that had an escape tunnel from a basement or something, and I put the name down as Secret Tunnel, not explicitly as an Avatar reference, but I because I didn't watch it, but I'm aware of Secret Tunnel, and so I was like, oh yeah, that'd be kind of funny. This this works well for this. So I submitted Secret Tunnel. Everyone submitted their names. Secret Tunnel was selected and approved as the name when the set was taken from us in creative text and shipped off to editing. Generally, that's just how it goes at that point. But then when the set came out, it was printed as Escape Tunnel, and I was like, oh. Weird. I wonder why they changed that. Oh my God, are they working on an Avatar set? That was my thought process, because no one else knows that Secret Tunnel was a name that was put down for that. So, but I was like, oh my God, is that why? So I posted about this yesterday on Blue Sky, and Chris Mooney was like, yes, actually, I did that. And so maybe there's something coming out in 2 years that makes Diligent Zookeeper make sense. Who knows? But
this is why I got to get back on creative text team and just start naming things or HMS Terror.
Because that's what you want to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the terror as the secret layer.
and they're like,
Yes.
oh no, we can't use that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a land.
I love this. So Secret Tunnel land, it has the cave subtype, which I think is mostly for flavor reasons, because caves were in Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So mostly for flavor, but potentially useful because there are some cards that care about caves. An amazing line of rules text. This land can't be blocked.
Very cool.
And then it taps for colorless, and it's Rogue's Passage better. It's 4 and tap 2 target creatures you control that share a creature type can't be blocked this turn.
I mean,
It's a secret tunnel through the mountain.
if I want to argue, it's Rogue's Passage light. Like I think it's Rogue's Passage worse, right?
Really?
It's the same amount of mana, right? Like Rogue's Passage also costs 4 and tap. Like it's like 5 mana to make something unblockable. But the thing is, like, Rogue's Passage's primary location is commander.
Right.
And
Right.
being able to make someone else's creature not be able to get blocked is like a relevant thing that happens in commander games.
Oh.
And this only targets your own creatures. Plus,
Fascinating.
you can't target up to 2 creatures.
Yeah,
You need
need
2
two
creatures.
creatures.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there's going to be a bunch of times when you would like to trade this for a Rogue's Passage.
People are
in
going to
play.
mess that up.
Sure, yeah.
Pro
fair
tip
enough.
for those listening: you can be the rules lawyer at your pre-release.
Yeah.
You'd be like, actually, you need 2 legal targets.
Yes. They have to be both creatures you control, and they have to share a creature type.
I did not pick up on that.
So
Yeah.
it's a harder to use but bigger payoff for Rogue's
Okay.
Passage.
Fair
it does.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, it maybe makes your whole team unblockable, and then you can kill them in one swing instead of 2 or whatever.
I love this about Magic when it's like, oh, this is just obviously
Strictly
better.
better, yeah.
Strictly better. It's like, no, this is different,
Yeah.
and it's better in some cases and worse in others. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
This is going to look very pretty in foil, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I totally agree with the kind of slam dunk of a top-down design that we've got here.
Yeah.
You know, like the land itself being unable to block is so cute, and the fact that it's a cave is also cute.
Yeah. The this land can't be blocked is like, 'cause if you earthbend, then you animate this land, and then you have an unblockable creature land, which is very cool. I think isn't there another land that
I want to say, actually, sorry, I'm
Yeah, go for
going to
it.
need your help here, James,
Yeah.
because the story or the episode with the Secret Tunnel song, they also made into a red saga. So, like, along with this card, which is probably, I'm going to guess, end up getting more play than the other one. There's like a new, it's kind of the same as Call the Mountain Chocobo. I want to say it's 3 in a red. It might just be called Two Lovers.
the Cave of Two Lovers.
The Cave of Two Lovers. Thank you. Yeah.
So 3 in a red for an enchantment. Chapter 1, make 2 white ally creature tokens, 1/1s. 2, search your library for a mountain or cave, reveal it and put it into your hand, and then Chapter 3, Earthbend 3. So this whole thing works.
Pretty cool, hey?
Works
Yeah.
really well with the cave. It also just is good by itself.
Kind of a flavor fail, though. It says 2 creatures need to use the tunnel, but this is the cave of 2 lovers rather than the cave of 3. That was not a very good joke.
We all love 3. Is that where we're going with?
I don't.
I have no idea.
You
where
can
we're
explain
going
the
with
joke
this.
to me if you want, but I'm not going to
No.
request it. All right.
Yeah, no, it's just stupid.
right.
Hit us up in the comments
like
if
the
you know
giant-
what Cameron's talking
I like the
about.
giant
Please
badger
don't.
mode.
Let's
fair
let's
enough.
all forget I tried to make that work.
Oh, I'm sure
There's
someone's cracking up looking at their phone right now.
One person out there I struck with a
You need to comment. You, the person that's laughing. Tell Cameron he's hilarious. It's worth it.
so this one is interesting, or rather, this leads me through a segue via another saga, which is Leaves from the Vine.
right. Yeah.
Which I think is just a nice functional uncommon saga here. It's 1 and a green, 3 chapters. Chapter 1, mill 3 cards, make a food. Very nice. Chapter 2, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Chapter 3, draw a card if there is a creature or lesson in your graveyard. So this just seems fine. This seems like something that you're going to take and draft and you're going to play it.
Yeah.
The reason that I mention this that I think is interesting is because there are lesson cards in this set, but there's no cards in the set with learn.
yeah.
So we first saw lesson and learn back in Strixhaven, and if you cast a spell with learn, then you can either rummage, you can just discard a card to draw a card, or you can pull a card with lesson from your sideboard and put it in your hand. And reveal it, obviously, so your opponent knows you have it. None of that is in this set, only cards that have the lesson subtype. But there are cards like this that care about lessons.
Yes, yeah. So I've seen a lot of cards that care about lessons in graveyards, and I've seen cards that care about lesson as a way of doing like the Diet Pepsi of prowess.
Oh.
Right? Like that this card gains a bonus if you have cast a lesson.
Right. Okay. Whenever you cast a lesson, this gets +1/+1 or something, or this gets flying, or
Yes, yeah,
this gets
exactly.
first strike until
yeah,
turn,
there's
that
like
sort of thing.
a blue creature that gets flying if there's a lesson in your graveyard.
Okay.
There's a red 1-drop that gets firebending if you've got a lesson in your graveyard.
I mean, yeah, we could just look at Aang, the Last Airbender.
But before we move
sorry.
away from Leaves from the Vine, this is like a tearjerker moment from the series.
Yes, this is Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, Uncle Iroh. Yeah,
sings
Iroh.
this song, and you're gonna weep.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of tearjerker moments in this series. To be fair, yeah, it does a great job of appealing to a wide variety of ages. That's like one of the things that Avatar's kind of crushes that.
Yeah.
Nice. So, because as you were saying, Aang, the Last Airbender, 3 in a white, 3/2 with flying. When Aang enters, you airbend another target permanent, which is you exile it, and then while it's exiled, its owner may cast it for 2 colorless or 2 generic mana rather than its mana cost. So you could do a taxed blink on one of your own things for extra enters triggers, or you can like get one of your opponent's things temporarily out of the way, which I think is kind of cool. But then he continues to say, whenever you cast a lesson, Aang gets lifelink until end of turn.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
yeah.
4 mana 3/2 flying lifelinks, nothing to disrespect.
Pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, so I wonder, because we know what's coming in 2026, which is we're
going back to Strixhaven, right?
Exactly.
At some
We
point?
go
Yeah, so maybe Learn will be
Lorwyn,
back.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I think it's the next one is Secrets of Strixhaven.
That might be right. I think it was the first half of the year for sure.
Yeah. So possibly when returning to Strixhaven, we will have more lessons and more learn, and then in Standard we'll be able to learn these lessons.
Yeah, because like these lesson cards are a bit more, I think, inventive or a bit more creative than the ones we got in Strixhaven, which were pretty like, I think they were playing pretty safe.
Yeah.
When they first started making lessons.
Every Strixhaven lesson is like, this is a little bit less good than you want for this mana. And like, it represents a free card.
Yes,
so that's
yeah.
okay. You're going to end up playing basically all of them. Like I think I had all of those cards in a sideboard slot in my Strixhaven deck at one point or another, where I was like, I'm actually taking this lesson instead of a card that might make the cut.
Yeah, but there was like the expensive kill spell.
Yeah, you'd like
right?
5 mana and they get to draw a card.
Yes, yeah.
But it exiles anything. Or like, there was a burn spell for less than 5 mana, I want to say. Wasn't there like a way, or like a -2/-2 or something like that?
Yeah, but
there was
were all,
another
like,
removal spell.
Sorceries when you would want them to be instants,
And
or
there was a
they were
3 mana 2-power flyer. And
Yes,
there was 3 mana for 2/1/1s that gain you life.
Yeah,
Or 5 mana. There was a 5 mana 4/4.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
and
all,
they were
all the little mascots, right?
they were all
Yeah.
useful,
Yeah.
but they were all like 23rd cards that you
Yeah.
would sleeve up, right, if you needed to.
Yeah.
And that's fine, right? Like when the first time you're playing in a kind of radically new play space, it's fine to be like pretty conservative. It reminds me of the conspiracy. First
Right.
conspiracy
First
set,
conspiracy set.
right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, this will be an anthem for one kind of creature card. But in Conspiracy Take the Crown, the conspiracies were a lot more like
They were a bit more
they
creative.
had a better
bit wilder.
understanding of what they
Yeah.
could get away with.
So like here's like a direct comparison, because you mentioned it's like, oh god, it's introduction to disintegration or something. What is it?
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's 5 mana, exile. I want to say a non-land permanent, not even maybe just a creature. And then it's controller draws.
Introduction to Annihilation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, 5 mana sorcery, exile a non-land permanent, its controller draws a card. So now we have Zuko's Exile. So still 5 mana, it's still colorless. It's an instant this time. It can only target artifacts, creatures, or enchantments, not just any non-land, but that's still most non-land permanents. And rather than its controller drawing a card, its controller makes a clue. So they have to pay for it. But so that's sort of how we're going to instant speed. We're slightly narrower on what we can target, and they get a clue instead of a card. So there's a improvement.
They also,
There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Is this the first time we've seen this templating where it says its controller creates a clue token? Like normally when you create a clue token, they call that investigating.
Oh yeah,
But like,
because there are things that care about investigation, not necessarily like a clue entering.
Oh yeah.
right.
Huh.
Yeah, no, good catch. That is
I mean, I'm not certain that this is the first time we've seen it, but I'm noticing it now.
I've never been cognizant of it before. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm curious if things caring about investigate is why they've changed the templating, because I would have a bigger suspicion that they're like internally whoever came up with the investigate mechanic, which is to create a clue token, lost some battle. Finally,
Right.
10 years later, it was like, why do we have 2 keywords for this one mechanic, right?
Right. Or maybe it is one of those things where it's like, well, investigate is kind of a keyword that was tied to like Shadows over Innistrad. And
Right.
we don't want to use set keywords outside of the sets if the set that it's appearing in doesn't use that mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, maybe
Like-
maybe it's a legal thing. Like hilariously, that Secret Lair or the whatever the promotional product was with, I think it was a Secret Lair with the Transformers, like the robot
Right.
car people, didn't use the word transform, even though they're double-sided cards that turn over.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
They had to be converting instead, which is one of the more embarrassing weird things that's happened because of licensing agreements or whatever. You know, it's like some lawyer somewhere had to be like, oh, they can't say transform because you put that on another card, or I don't know. Someone watching, I'm sure, knows the whole story. Feel free to type it all out in the YouTube comments for everyone else to read. Why those transformers don't say transform them. I don't actually know.
This is only the second time that a card has said create a clue token.
Oh, okay.
And the previous time it was much more sort of like understandable. It was over encumbered from the Fallout set because you enchant an opponent and it says when it enters the battlefield, the enchanted opponent creates a clue token, a food token, and a junk token.
Oh, so they're not investigating
So-
because they're doing multiple things.
Yeah, rather than saying they investigate and make a food token and a junk token, I assume this was just better templating to be like, yeah, they make a clue and a food and a junk.
rather than saying opponent investigates, then they create a food token and a junk token. It's like that looks ugly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first time that templating has ever not just said its controller investigates.
This card is backbreaking, by the way.
Oh, over encumbered will F you up.
Yeah, we had like that whole Fallout ESC episode, I feel like, just revolved around this card.
I should read the rest of it, which is at the beginning of the combat on the enchanted opponent's turn, that player may pay 1 generic mana for each artifact they control, and if they don't, then creatures can't attack this combat. So
has
you
a very-
give them that and 3
It's not even.
artifacts.
It's not even. Or they sacrifice the thing. It's like it's not like the
Oh, it's not like
Tabernacle
Pendrell.
at Pendrell
Yeah,
Vale.
Pendrell
Yeah,
Vale,
it's not
yeah.
like Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale or Kataki. They're like, hey, pay for your stuff or lose it. It's just like, hey, pay for your stuff or you can't attack.
Yeah, like
it's just like
tap
pay for your stuff.
It is now part of the game where you tap down everything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I remember this game correctly, someone put that on Ben immediately, and then Ben just had to either like cast spells or attack just for the rest of the game. It was like he had to choose like, okay, this turn I'm going to put more stuff in play. Okay, this turn I'm going to attack with my stuff. Like,
I also just like the fact that you pay out big when
Yeah.
this hits the ground. Like you play over encumbered and suddenly like all your shit falls out of your pockets, right? Like you just explode like a Diablo monster.
you are the slot machine.
Yep.
I should say the biggest change. I just double checked.
Sorry, yeah.
The biggest change between Strixhaven lessons and these lessons is that in Strixhaven, and again, this is probably, as you say, being conservative with first time out the gate with a new mechanic. All the lessons in Strixhaven were sorceries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And-
that
Yeah, and a lot of them are instants this time.
right. I wonder if that's kind of like also how in Amonkhet was it the Aftermath card? Not Aftermath. The one you
Oh,
could
yeah.
play from your graveyard.
Yeah, that was Aftermath.
Oh,
Those were all sorceries,
Yeah.
except for one card that could draw you 2 cards. Right? So that, you didn't have to worry about something happening to you at instant speed.
Yeah,
right.
If
Out
they're
of your
playing
opponent's
against-
graveyard.
Yeah.
Like they're like flashback spells, but there's a bunch of stuff happening in that set, and like not having to worry that your opponent's going to cast an instant onboard trick.
There were also
against
very
these things.
few. I know there was at least one, which was Pop Quiz, I think, but there were very few cards in Strixhaven with Learn that were instants. Most of the Learn spells were also sorcery.
sorceries and creatures and artifacts and stuff. Too.
Yeah. But potentially in Secrets of Strixhaven, we could see more instant speed Learn, which could be fascinating because like there's spells in here. There's a counter spell there's ones that's basically there's a card that's basically just quench. That's a lesson now. There's octopus form that gives a creature +1/+1 and hexproof. There's one that deals 2 damage to a player, makes them discard. There's one that changes the target. Look at redirect lightning. Single red mana as an additional cost to pay to cast the spell.
Oh, yeah,
pay
5 life.
Pay 5 life or 2 generic mana. Change the target of a target spell or ability with a single target. So like
That's kind of a banger card.
yeah.
I don't know.
If we get instant speed learn with Strixhaven, then in constructed, you're going to be able to basically just sit there and be like, "What's my opponent doing? Oh, that cool. I learn. I go get the silver bullet I need and deal with it."
Yeah, that's
So-
going to be some fun and or frustrating magic depending on what side of the board you're sitting on.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's going to be interesting. I like that for now.
Right. I like that until someone else has done it
Yeah,
smarter than I'm thinking about doing it and then taking all my gems.
Yeah, exactly. I like this when I'm thinking about me doing it. me learning. Yes.
Them
Me
learning.
Yeah, me getting fireballed by my own fireball. This sucks.
This game sucks. Who made this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like because the high pick of lessons was always environmental sciences.
Sure.
Which was the two colorless mana. You go looking for a land.
Yes.
Yeah.
And gain 2 life.
Because there were 1 mana learn cards, so like you could set up doing that on turn 2, and then you could keep 2 landers.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
So we've
they
got
weren't 2 landers.
in this set we've got Aang's Journey, which is still a sorcery, but it's 2 mana with kicker for another 2 mana. Search your library for a basic land card. If it was kicked, you can instead search for a basic land card and a shrine. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, and then shuffle, and you gain 2 life.
Okay.
So it's either exactly like environmental sciences again, or if you kick it, you also get a shrine card.
Do we know if shrines are back?
Shrines are so back. We've had 4 of them spoiled so far.
Congrats, shrine enjoyers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you're up to what, 20?
Yeah, there's got to be like more shrines than you even need to build a commander deck at this point.
And these ones all care about other shrines entering. So Crescent Island Temple, for example, 3 in a red. When Crescent Island Temple enters, for each shrine you control, make a 1/1 monk with prowess. And whenever another shrine you control enters, make a 1/1 monk with prowess. So they all, in fact, I think, they're all like this. The Northern Air Temple is only a single black mana. When it enters, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. And whenever another shrine you control enters, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. The Southern Air Temple is you put counters on stuff. Again, it's X for your shrines or whenever a shrine enters. And then the blue one, can you guess? That's right, it's draw a card. So you draw a bunch of cards or whenever another shrine
Like
enters.
5 mana or
That's
something?
the Spirit Oasis. No, it's only 3 mana.
And as air temples, these are great targets to be air bent.
Right.
Oh,
It's true.
dang,
Yeah.
good call.
Bending your shrines seems pretty
Yeah.
sweet because
Who
they all
up
just
bending they shrine?
No
They all
kidding.
care about ETB.
And they're all these ones are all legendary. I don't think the ones from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty were legendaries.
The creatures like Honden of Hidden Cruelty or
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't think they were.
I don't remember.
Were they?
I want to say they weren't.
Were the new Hondens legendary?
They weren't
gems? Do
Hondens.
we
Sorry,
know?
there's a different
Or not
name for them.
Hondens.
They weren't
The,
Hondens. But I don't remember what they're called.
I don't remember either. They weren't.
If you remember,
Juicy.
Sorry, from the new.
No, from
New Kamigawa.
Neon Dynasty.
You mean these guys?
Go
Shintais.
Shintais.
They are
Right,
legendary.
yes.
Okay.
Are legendaries. Okay.
Interesting. So all the shrines are legendary, I guess. But so you just want to have as many shrines as you can. Well, hey, good news for people who like shrines. Anyone running that 5-color shrine commander deck just got
Yeah.
a lot more heft.
Right. And like maybe, I don't know, new win condition. That black one's pretty cool. Is it
Yeah.
say target opponent or each opponent?
Great
the
question.
Northern Air Shrine.
Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life. So you don't gain. It's not exsanguinate where you gain the
All
total
the
life
life,
lost, but you do still gain X life, and
Right.
each opponent loses X life.
But you know, if you can get like 8 shrines into play and then flicker that thing with your airbending or your nurturing pixie or whatever, like there you go. That's a way to win a game.
Yep.
Getting that itch in your bones where it's time to sleeve up Paraceline.
Oh no. Don't claim my nature.
How do we feel from what little we've seen? How do we feel about firebending.
I think I'm going to die to firebending when people have fire-breathing creatures. Multiple fire-breathing creatures with fire-bending creatures is going to kill people.
So
Right? Because somebody's going to squeak through.
let's take a look at Azula on the Hunt, just because it's sort of a more simple, uncommon. She's 3 and a black for a 4/3 human noble with firebending 2. Now, what firebending says is whenever this creature attacks, add N red mana. So in this case, add red. This mana lasts until end of combat. Mm-hmm. She also reads, whenever Azula attacks, you lose 1 life and make a clue. Also not investigating. Here we are now creating a clue.
Yeah, we're creating clues.
So, like, at worst case, Azula, whenever she attacks, you lose a life and draw a card.
Yeah,
right?
that's the minimum
Yeah.
value you're getting out of it, right? Obviously, you could be casting spells and have a clue for later, or doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like,
fire breathing.
I think fire bending is probably, like, the most disliked. The one that people were least impressed with. I think it's the one that has the most immediate payoff, and it's the one that's the most dangerous.
Okay.
Right? Like, I think the fire-bending deck in Limited will kill people pretty quickly and pretty surprisingly.
Right. I mean, mana is typically the, like, aspect of the game where things get broken when they play
Yes.
with it.
Yeah.
Spells are supposed to cost mana. So every time they print free spells, it's like, surprise, these free spells are too good. Like that's happened time and again. So creatures that generate mana, like Llanowar Elves and all these fire-bending creatures, can be pretty scary. And this is an extremely, like, carefully curated ability where you only get the mana in combat and only when that creature attacks. Mm-hmm. They don't say, like, whenever you attack. They just say when this attacks. So all of these firebending creatures, like, you need to untap with it, and then you need to be willing to attack with them, and then you get bonus mana. But generally speaking, bonus mana is a problem. So I want to agree with what Cameron said. Like, if you're able to draft a deck that can, or open up and seal the deck that can smoothly and somewhat reliably get a firebending creature into play, and then just take advantage of that firebending somehow, whatever you're doing with it, it's going to be pretty good. Azula on their own looks like a really strong.
Yeah, I mean this essentially says whenever Azula attacks, lose 1 life and draw a card.
Yeah. How do you feel about, like, Phyrexian Arena that is a 4/3 for 4?
Positively, thank you.
I think positively about it as well. I would also like to attack with my Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, Sheevan Dragon is a 5/5. Except when it goes unblocked and it's a 10/10.
Yeah.
Or a 10/5.
But still, yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's not being slept on, but I feel like fire-bending decks will close out games very quickly if they get their feet under them.
Right.
If they get their feet under them.
It's probably just
they need to be disrupted aggressively, otherwise they will kill you.
Yeah.
Which is true of all Magic the Gathering, right? It's true of all red decks or aggro decks, but firebending will get out of control.
I feel like preview season is for the constructed players. It's like people, like, looking at spoilers and looking at previews and whatnot in anticipation of the decks they're going to build. So I'm curious, but not sold yet. I haven't seen enough cards that I want to say, like, oh, there's going to be a firebending standard deck, or like these couple firebending cards are going to get into mono red prowess or whatever, or like,
Right.
There'll be like a red green deck that's casting pump spells with the firebending mana somehow. Like, and I'm not certain about that, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, like I'm sure, I'm 90% certain there's going to be like some kind of mid-range or aggro Jund deck.
Okay.
That just sleeves up a bunch of firebending creatures in instants.
Neat.
Right?
Yeah.
That's probably a fine thing to do if this is that's probably also an attractive thing to do if you are an Avatar The Last Airbender fan who goes to a pre-release and is like, I like this game that I remember from grade 9.
Right.
I like this firebending mechanic. What do I do with it? And it's just like, take all your instants and sleeve them up and then show up on Friday.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, the red mana can pay for the generic costs, the little gray number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the red mana in your red spells.
Real quick, in an attempt to dodge being corrected by the comments.
Right.
And if you have already corrected me on this specific point, you have to go back and edit your comment
We'll watch.
to say I was too eager. But because I was looking for the specific rules text creates a clue token.
Okay.
There are 2 other cards that prior to this set have said create a clue token.
Oh, okay.
Fey Offering from Modern Horizons 2 and Madame Vastra from Doctor Who. But again, both of those say create a clue, a food, and a treasure. Like both of those are saying create a clue as part of making a list of tokens that are created.
I knew Fair Offering. I'm not.
Yeah, Fey Offering is make a clue, a food, and a treasure. Madame Vastra says create a clue and a food. But there are many cards in this set already spoiled that say create a clue token. So investigate, I guess, is perhaps being sunset as a
evergreen
as
right.
the way that clues happen.
That's I think the best guess.
Yeah.
It's also possible that they'll bring Investigate back when it's not a UB set.
Yeah, there's like 7 cards so far in this set that say create a clue token.
I mean, maybe we can also examine that as being a aspect of this being a more introductory product.
Yeah, potentially.
Or one that will appeal to people who are not invested Magic players, let's say, right?
It also, I think, that because it does help with just words.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, for example, Cunning Maneuver. Target creature gets, this is in the Avatar set, 1 in a red, instant target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Create a clue token, reminder text. The reminder text reads, it's an artifact with 2, sacrifice this token, draw a card. Whereas previously it would say target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn, investigate, reminder text, create a clue token. It's an artifact with
multiple nested parenthetical reminder text.
So we're just eliminating one big word.
And also, this is a set that has 4 keywords that are frequently elided on the cards. Right, all the bending abilities.
Good. Speaking of good words,
Thank you. Yeah. I've been really saving up for a chance to use elide or Elysian.
Ooh.
And because
If you know how to spell those, let us know in the comments below.
and if you don't, put in your best effort.
Right?
Engagement's engagement, folks. So like all the bending keywords is already probably a lot for people to keep in their head, unless you're like, a nerd.
They're all pretty complicated abilities too. Actually, the four bending abilities, as far as Magic goes, it's like Airbend. We're changing zones and making new rules for how to cast a card. Like that's actually really complicated.
Right.
Firebending, possibly the simplest one, but now we've got mana that goes away at a certain time and also doesn't go away when it's supposed to. That's complicated.
Yeah, they're all like abilities that I feel that Magic players are familiar with, but with a comma but.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, earthbending is like, okay, this doesn't happen that often, but we're going to turn your land into a creature as well.
Yeah, it's awaken, but.
And then it's got a bunch more rules too. And then waterbending is extremely complicated.
I was going to ask about that. We should talk, because it's the only one we haven't touched on.
Sure.
It's both convoke and improvise, but
kind of.
not.
Oh, I'm kind of up against a hard out, but I can chat about waterbending for a second, then maybe I'll sneak out before we say goodbye.
Sounds good. Go for it.
Yeah. So, James, do you have a card? I don't know a card
Flexible
name.
Waterbender.
Thank you.
3 and a blue for a 2/5 human warrior ally with vigilance and waterbend 3. This creature has base power and toughness 5/2 until the end of turn.
Okay, so here we see waterbending. Waterbending is always some sort of cost. It can be an additional cost to cast a spell. It can be on an activated ability like we see here, and it can also be triggered ability, so you'll pay the cost on resolution. And every time you see waterbending, you can either pay the mana, it explains, or you can tap artifacts and creatures to help. Each one pays for 1 generic out of the cost. And I think they're allowed to template it. There might even be 1 or 2 cards that have colored symbols that are part of the waterbending, and like you always have to pay the mana for those.
But you can't tap a creature that shares that color?
I don't think so. Now, I don't want to get too complicated. We're talking about how complicated it is, and I'm not certain. But I think the way it's templated, they could do that. So anyways, you may pay mana, you may tap creatures, you may do both, right? So Waterbend 3 here means 3 mana or a combination of mana, creatures, and artifacts that you're tapping. And then it turns into a 5/2. And it's got vigilance, so that's cool.
Neat.
So you can attack with it, and if they're like, well, I can't block, I only have 2/2s, they'll die. Then you can be like, haha, after you don't block, I hit you for 5 instead.
When this first got spoiled, I was like, what is this? And then I realized it's just a thing that does something different on every card. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Now it makes more sense.
Yes. Waterbend just means you have a cost and you have a way to, like the waterbend ability, the way it's written in the rules thing is like the way you pay waterbend costs. And we actually had to go back and forth a bunch in like scripting the judge video more than we normally do. Cause I was like, I need people watching this thing to understand that like what the ability is. It's just that it's a cost. It's like a particular way that you pay for costs on a variety of different cards, which is weird as far as mechanics go. Like, cause improvise and convoke spells, they're all on spells. Like it's the cost of the spell. If it has convoke, that means you can tap creatures.
Yeah.
Or if it has improvise, that means you can tap artifacts. But like waterbending appears in a variety of spots.
Right. And speaking of things that you can do with firebending.
Yeah, you can
Right?
waterbend with firebending.
You can waterbend with firebending.
That's so weird. I love that.
Right.
And also Azula's Clue can also help you waterbend.
Yes. We saw that cunning trick or whatever card earlier. That's such a good firebending card, I wanted to say, too. 1 in a red for +3/+1 and make a clue. Because now if you have firebending 2, it's like, okay, hit you with my firebending 2 card, make it bigger. Next turn, eat the clue with the firebending mana.
It's great.
Okay, sorry,
We're
team,
gonna-
I should run away.
Okay, I was
right.
going to wrap up right now.
Let's think about it. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
That's going to do it for this episode of Tap Tap Concede, where we're talking about Avatar. We'll be talking much more about Avatar. I believe, James, next week, Chris Mooney's going to be joining us.
Yep.
Perfect. So, because Chris is going to be here for the PPR, and you're going to want to tune in for that this coming Friday, the 7th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. Come and watch us play some Avatar. But until then, I want to remind you that cardkingdom.com/LRR is the place to buy your Magic cards. Dragon Shield is the place to get a 5% discount by using the code LRRMTG5. And Patreon or YouTube or, I don't know, wherever we can take your money would be great, is how you can support us directly, and we really appreciate you doing that. I know it's tricky times. Until then, by then I mean the PPR or whenever we talk next. I have been Graham, joined by Nelson.
Whoop wahoo!
Cameron.
Yep.
James has been on tech.
Blurp, blurp.
Yes. And Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Secret tunnel.